I'm going to show you how to use Numbers, which is a spreadsheet program on the iPad, to create graphs. So find the program Numbers, tap on it to start it. You come to this screen and let's click on Create Spreadsheet. Now there are all sorts of options that I could use, but I'm going to create a blank, so I'm going to tap on blank, and I end up with a blank spreadsheet. And you can see a blue rectangle around the cell located at B2. And it's located in the first column, and so I'm going to enter values that are going to end up being on my x-axis, which represents my dependent variable. And the way you do this is you double tap into that cell, and when you do, this keypad pops up, and this will let me enter the values that represents the data from my lab. So I'm going to make this real simple. I'll hit the first number and then hit next, and there's a little kind of jogged arrow next to it, and that takes me to the cell immediately beneath the first one. And I'm going to do the same, and I'm using simple data here real quick just to illustrate for you. And there are my values, and then I'm going to tap on Done. I'm going to kind of pull down on my spreadsheet so I can see all of it. And now I'm ready to enter in the data that's going to go on my y-axis, which is my dependent variable. I'll tap inside that next cell at the top of the second column, double tap inside of it, and enter the data that will be my y coordinates. Just like I did before, I'll hit Done. Again, pulling down on my spreadsheet so I can see the whole thing. There are my values that I would have collected in a lab or I've been given to graph. Now I want to take this information and I want to graph it. And Numbers calls these graphs charts. So I'm going to tap in that first cell, and you see there's little dots at the upper left corner and the lower right corner. I'm going to grab the one on the lower right corner, and that will let me select my entire set of data. And when I do that, and I've got it all highlighted, this menu bar comes up, and one of the choices is Create Chart. So I'm going to tap on that. I've got all sorts of graphs or charts I could create. I want a scatter graph, and it's hidden, so I've got to pull up a little bit on my choices. And in the lower left-hand corner, you see a set of axes with a bunch of plus signs. That's a representation for a scatter graph. I'm going to tap on it, and there's my scatter graph that represents the data that I just entered. It's kind of squeezed into this sheet here, and I want to have a little more room to work on this and clean it up. So I'm going to tap and hold on it, and up pops another menu bar, and I just want to copy it. So I tap on Copy, and I want to put this on a separate sheet all by itself. So if you look at the top, we've got one sheet, and it's titled Sheet 1. And next to that is a plus sign, and if I tap on that, I create a second sheet, a whole brand new sheet. I want only my graph on this sheet, so I'm going to get rid of this new spreadsheet here. There's a little circle in the upper left-hand corner. I'm going to tap on it. Up comes a new menu bar. I'm going to get rid of this, and I'm going to hit Delete. Now I've got a blank sheet. I'm going to tap and hold on it, and then let up. And one of my choices is Paste. And if I tap on that, there's my chart. I'm going to move it. Grab the lower right corner so it fills up the entire screen. Now I'm ready to clean this up and put a line in and put some titles in and some grid lines. So with it selected, I'm going to go up to the menu bar, and over in the right-hand corner, the first choice looks like a paintbrush. I'm going to tap on that, and that's going to let me format my graph. The default choice here is Charts. I'm going to tap on Chart Options, and I want to make some choices that will apply to my chart. So first of all, I want a chart title. So I'm going to tap on that and turn it from off to on. Go back to my options. I don't want a legend. I'm going to unchoose legend. I do want a border, so I'm going to choose that to activate it. looks like my points I want to connect them. So right now, next to connection lines, it says none. Let's tap on that and let's go ahead and, in this case, I'm going to put straight. And you can see in the background, it just drew my, my line. And that's pretty much it for the chart. So now let's go back and let's work on the axes. So let's start with the x-axis. Tap on it. I want major, minor grid lines turned on, so I'm going to tap on those. I'd like to have tick marks next to my numbers, so I'm going to activate that. And later on, I want to put an axis name, so I'm going to activate that also. Let's do the same thing for the y-axis. Turn on the major, minor grid lines, turn on the tick marks, and let's put in an axis name, and let's put the line in. All right. I've got everything into my graph. I just need to put some titles in. So to do that, I'm going to go down to the x-axis, and I'm going to double tap on the name. And when I do that, up pops a keyboard. And let's say I had graph time. I'm going to put time. I want to make sure I put units. So let's say they were seconds. Hit done. Let's do the same thing for the y-axis. Double tap on the name. Get rid of that generic name. Let's say this was velocity. So I'll type in the name. Again, I want some units. Let's say it was meters per second. Hit done. And then all I have to do is put a title. Double tap on title. See if I can choose it here. There we go. And so we graphed time. Well, actually, it was velocity, right? You put the dependent variable first, velocity versus time. Hit done. And there's my graph. Pretty simple to do. Just follow the instructions.